We'll take some notes, everyone at home. This is going to be all of us in a little bit, clearing out during the nor'easter. We're going to have a live look at the roads coming up ahead.
All right, we're bringing in Clay Gordon. He's down in Kennebunk at the rest stop, checking on road conditions and getting hit hard right now with some snow.
Yeah, definitely a lot of snow, and luckily the wind is slowing down just a tad, so I don't need the goggles. But take a look at some of this. I mean, we're pretty deep right here. I mean, this is pretty thick right here. I know on the other side of the turnpike, a lot of it's been pushed over from the plows, but I think this area has kind of been untouched from the plows. And take a look at this too. You mentioned, Todd, that it is clinging to things, the snow. This sign right here, this beam, it's like really stuck on there. It's pretty hard to get off. And we are literally the side of the main turnpike here, the Kennebunk Plaza. And the road conditions actually are not too bad right now. The plows have been out. You could see a little bit of pavement, which is great for drivers, although the visibility is very hard to see. You can barely see, I would say, less than a mile. I don't know the exact footage, but you can't see too far in front of you, so keep your lights on. That's what the MTA plow drivers want you to do. Keep those lights on so they can see you while they're making their turns and plowing. Now, the MTA has reduced the speed limit here to about 45 miles an hour. Luckily, there's not a lot of traffic right now on the roads. A lot of people are staying put. I just talked with a truck driver a second ago who was heading down to New Jersey. He said he stopped and pulled over for his safety and, of course, others on the road. We'll be out here tracking road conditions all morning. Live from Kennebunk, I'm Clay Gordon, News Center, Maine. Zach, over to you in Bangor.
All right, 442, we're back. A busy few hours for plows, plow drivers, transportation workers, all trying to keep up with the clearing of the roads during this nor'easter. Our Clay Gordon joins us now with a look at the conditions out there. Hey again, Clay.
Hey Lee, yes, the conditions, they're not really improving out here. We're seeing a lot of snow. I'm currently at the Kennebunk Plaza, actually, where a whole bunch of trucks have been here overnight. These trucks next to me actually are probably the ones that have been here the least amount of time. If you go that way, they have even more snow. But look at some of the snow that kind of fell from the top all the way down to the windshield. And now it's kind of up to my mid-shin here. Now, the DOT, we can see the plows. They've been plowing out this area for, those commuters that are coming in and out. They're also snow blowing over there, too. Let's talk about the plow drivers for a second. The MTA is trying to make it safer for them. They're installing these things called slip ramps. You might see them on the road, but there aren't enough of them, according to the MTA. They allow a plow driver to use an off-ramp to safely cross to the other side of the highway. Now, many times they have to wait up to a half hour to make a U-turn through the current median during a storm like this one and during commuting hours. Now, plow drivers also encourage drivers to keep their lights on so they can see them, especially when they're doing that crossover. And on the way down here, you could see that the MTA has reduced the speed to about 45 miles an hour. That's all the way from Kittery to Augusta. We're reporting live here in Kennebunk, Clay Gordon, News Center, Maine.
All right, Clay, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again throughout the morning.
All right, let's bring Clay Gordon into the mix. He's down at the Kennebunk rest stop with more on travel conditions. Hey, Clay.
Hey, Todd, how's it going this morning? You said 10 inches in this area, and I do believe that. Although, if you look at the main turnpike behind me, it's really not that bad, only because the MTA plow trucks have been out and about all night. So come take a walk with me. I want to show you a couple of things. We're at the rest stop, like you mentioned, and you can tell all of these trucks have been sitting here overnight. They have snow piled up on top of them, and you could also see, too, if you look up, that the wind is kind of blowing the snow all over the place. This is one thing you're going to notice if you're out on the roads early this morning. A lot of the signs on the side of the road, they actually have snow sticking to them here, and it's actually pretty thick. You'll notice that all the way driving down on the turnpike here. Now, I want to bring you back over to this truck. This is Michael. Michael was just popping out of the cab a second ago to go inside the rest stop. He is waiting here. He's been here only a couple minutes, but he's waiting for his dispatcher to kind of set him off for the day. He doesn't really know what his day entails right now, and he's going all the way to Philadelphia. That is where he is based out of, so he's a long way from home right now, and he's just waiting kind of in the back of the cab, kind of resting until he gets permission. So again, back to the turnpike over here, the MTA has reduced the speed limit to about 45 miles an hour. We'll be tracking road conditions throughout the morning from Kennebunk. I'm going to send it over to Zach Blanchard, who is live in Bangor. Zach, what's the latest?
Keeping an eye on the turnpike right now in Kennebunk is Clay Gordon. Let's check in with him.
Hey Todd, yeah, you're exactly right that we are at the Kennebunk Plaza right now. Check out some of the snow we're seeing. I mean, I'm mid-calf over here. I know behind me this is kind of all plowed over from the MTA. They've been plowing this out, making sure that some of these trucks like we see over here that are blowing a lot of snow, having a lot of snow on the hoods here, making sure they're going to be able to get out in a little bit. But let's take a look over at the road conditions right now. This is the turnpike right here behind me. You know, the plows have been out all night. The MTA, though, is making sure that plow drivers and trucks alike are safe out here. Here's how. Roger Matthew is a plow driver for the Maine Turnpike Authority.
This is my 43rd winter.
His route is from the southern Maine border to exit 53 in Falmouth.
This is where my interchange trucks turn, right down here.
During some storms, he drives 600 miles.
And during the commute, you might sit there 20 minutes, half an hour. You know, it's a long time to sit, try to get back around to plow your run.
The Maine Turnpike Authority is installing slip ramps to make it easier on plow drivers to turn around.
Is that frustrating, just waiting around?
It's very frustrating.
Especially in the middle of a storm?
In the middle of a storm, you know your ramps are getting plugged up. You're trying to get back around to keep your ramps open, get some salt down, and you're setting.
When there isn't a slip ramp, you have to do this. We are waiting in the breakdown lane on 95 for traffic to clear in both directions. After 2 minutes and 45 seconds, we made it halfway. Feels like a long time during normal conditions, especially when traffic is buzzing by.
It's definitely a safety issue in that traffic levels have risen so much. What may have worked in the 90s isn't so much working today.
Slip ramps are paved and are gated to prevent drivers from using it. There are a few like this one already operating, but the MTA is planning to install them along the entire turnpike, mile 1 to Augusta.
Wherever we can do it, we want to do it because it makes it safer for the traveler and for our workers.
And there are ways drivers can help the plows, giving them space when passing and
Make sure you got your lights on. That's very important.
okay. And now the average price for these slip ramps is about $300,000. They try to do them on both sides when construction's already done on some kind of overpass. You can see the conditions. People are having their lights on. Like I said before, that is probably the best thing you could do so these plow drivers can see you. Reporting live in Kennebunk, Clay Gordon, News Center, Maine. Now let's go up to Bangor and visit with Zach Blanchard. Zach, what's the latest?